Okay, we're speaking with Larry Gibson, who's receiving the Medal of Courage from the Wrestling Hall of Fame. Larry, what were your thoughts when you got notified that you were going to be honored this year by the National Wrestling Hall of Fame with its Medal of Courage award?
Well, it's something that I just don't think about things like that. You know, my whole life has been coaching and going and doing, and sometimes there's not a lot of thank yous or things, but you know, it's just a tremendous honor to be considered by something that's been such a huge part of my life. It really has been, and to be honored in this way, it's overwhelming.
Now, when you were a young person, you had an accident and lost part of your leg, and somehow found the sport of wrestling. How was it that wrestling became something that not only gave you meaning in life, but also gave you something that you were able to pursue for the rest of your career?
Well, it was amazing. I was 11 years old and hit by a drunk driver, and I was in the hospital for 6 months, in bed 4.5 months of that. In all, in the 3 years, I had 13 surgeries. And I was telling my doctor one time that I wanted to play football and I wanted to wrestle and want to do those things. And he was a wonderful man, but he says, "No, Larry, your life is different now. You're not going to be able to do those things." But inside, for the first time, I just had this overwhelming desire. Yes, I am going to do that. And luckily, my parents were supportive. They didn't say no. My coach in high school, Al Gray at Wilson High School down in Portland, Oregon, he welcomed me into the wrestling room. It's a huge school at that time. And that's where I started wrestling, was at the high school there. Johnny Miller, he's a former world champion, was on my team also. But anyway, it's just a lot of work. Usually when people learn to wrestle, they kind of wrestle with somebody and kind of copy or do something. But when you only have one leg and you wrestle on your knees, it was much more difficult to learn the style. So it took me a little while. But as I got better and better, I don't know, it's just something that I love to do, you know, and it's something that I have success at. And it's been my life, all my life so far now.
What was the motivation for getting into coaching? Obviously, a lot of people compete in high school. I know you did some college wrestling as well, but
That's right.
why a coach? Why working with youth and giving back to the sport?
Well, I think that's an important thing, giving back to the sport and working with young people. I think all of us, when we're good at something, like to share with what we do, and that's how it kind of started. I remember when I was in college and getting ready to graduate, there was a local junior high needed a coach, and so I just volunteered as a coach for them. And then when I moved to Okanagan, which is up in the state of Washington, up in north central Washington, wrestling was just starting there in that town. They just bought mats and a uniform, and they had a track coach, Frank Eiler, who was a great guy, but he'd never wrestled. And so I just walked in the room thinking, well, maybe I can help a little bit. And so I pretty much, with him, started the program there, and it was wonderful. It was a great experience, and it seems like wherever that I go now, I seem to be on the mat. Now it's much more purposeful, you know. But that's how it started, and you have success, and you're something you can share. I think it's a worthwhile thing to do.
Now, you many years have been involved with USA Wrestling, working with athletes in the off-season and helping them to achieve their dreams. Not always people from your own community, but all over your state and region. Well, what did USA Wrestling's experience mean for you, and what have you been able to do to help other people grow through that program?
Well, it's a tremendous organization, obviously. You know, they're the governing body for wrestling in the United States. And they have done a tremendous job of organizing the sport with high goals. And to me, it's wonderful to be involved in that at whatever level. And it's true, I've worked a lot with USA Wrestling, and helping coach, be on the mat, be with teams going places. But to me, they're a great organization with a real commitment to excellence, and that's what I've noticed.
You do some motivational speaking. What kind of themes do you use when you speak to other people about making the most of their lives?
Well, obviously that's part of it, but I also, you know, role models are important, and as kids grow up into adults, they all have role models. But the power of words, the power of suggestion. So many people, well, for example, we're on the average told 148,000 times no, and all the reasons will fail between birth and 18 years of age. If somebody told me 148,000 times that I was not going to be a success, I believe them. And I think that's why so many people, adult and young people, don't feel that they can try new things, can be successful. They're their own worst enemy inside. And so the things that I talk about is how to change the inside, how to change the message that you give yourself, and the tools to do that. So those are the things that I talk about.
Well, congratulations to Larry Gibson, Medal of Courage winner. Be down here during Honors Weekend at the Wrestling Hall of Fame, and help you and your family have a great time experiencing Honors Weekend this week.
Thank you very much.